Hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to my overview of Ravenswatch. Now specifically we're coming back to this because of the Romeo and Juliet character DLC that's just come out tonight actually. I've been playing it and enjoying it. It's a free DLC, there's also an update. But, you know, broadly speaking, if you don't know anything about Ravenswatch, we'll cover on the basics of that because that's also on half price and I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite games that's come out in the last year, I guess. And it's dangerously addictive, very tricky and difficult, but very rewarding. Lots of build diversity, clever characters, really rich lore that they're drawing from. Oh, I'm obviously a very big fan. So look, let's start at the beginning really quick. Soldiers 5 on Ravenswatch. This is the follow-up release from Pastec Games. They did Curse of the Dead Gods previously. Also excellent and arguably a single-player proof of concept of what Ravenswatch turned out to be. Same sort of idea that it's kind of built for thumbsticks and, you know, triggers, face buttons, that sort of stuff. Very difficult, but with a rewarding skill ceiling as well. Anyway, so Curse of the Dead Gods is a roguelike single player going through tombs. This is up to 4 players. It really shines in 4 players, and it's a little bit more like an open world instance that you spend a couple of day-night cycles in. Funnily enough, I was comparing this just the other day to someone to the upcoming Elden Ring Night Rain or whatever the bloody hell it's called. It looks like it follows a similar format. You spend a couple of days with your crew farming and leveling up, fighting mini bosses, gearing up, trying to figure out how you're going to slice the pie and then probably fight a final boss at the end of it. So this follows that exact same format, and I suppose you could say did it first. And it's all drawing from like rich folklore, like Brothers Grimm sort of stuff. The main character, Scarlet, is Red Riding Hood and can shapeshift between Wolf and Red Riding Hood, and they're basically 2 different characters. One's more tank, one's more stealth assassin, and it depends on the day-night cycle of the 3-day game interchange. So that's really cool. But you've got all sorts of stuff. My main is Geppetto, so you're making a little army of dummies and you can do all sorts of weird combos. If you overheal them, you can make them launch rockets, so I just go mad overheal and give them really low health as well, so the percentage heals larger and just fire rockets everywhere. But anyway, there is a lot of build diversity. But yeah, very tricky, very fun, very cool. And this Romeo and Juliet character pack that they've been pushing ads for the past, I don't know, a couple of months is free. It also comes alongside a core update. I think there's some rebalancing, some items. I saw an item in there, Water of Life, was a legendary for healing daily. I don't think I've seen that before, so there might actually be new items thrown in as well, even if the DLC doesn't appeal to you. But it's a twin-person interplay. You can pick Romeo or Juliet individually. You would be stupid to, because all of their abilities and interplay require co-op. So it's a co-op pairing. It's very unique. It kind of flies in the face of how we split loot a little bit. I mean, there's all different ways to cut the cake, as it were. And me and my mates, we tend to split loot a little bit because we get build centric and we can cover more ground that way and use comms to, you know, oh, I've cleared this health fountain, so I'll teleport over to you and that sort of stuff. Whereas this, you kind of have to just snowball through the map as the 2 of you. But when you get it right, when you've got your interplay and your rhythm right, you're an absolute wrecking ball. So much damage, it's just absolutely wild. And whatever it is that's charging your ultimate, it's fast if you're on fire. So I played Romeo, my buddy played Juliet. They have core differences in their playstyle. Romeo is like a melee. I don't want to necessarily even say brawler because he has like an invulnerability defense and dodges. He's more of a glass cannon. In fact, they're both kind of glass cannons. And Juliet's got a gun, you know, just like in the book. And a lot of her is about trying to land perfectly charged skill shots that interplay with Romeo. So part of Romeo's abilities is he can drop a rose or launch it. And it does a bit of damage, does some area damage wherever you launch it to, but the idea is that you want Juliet to hit that with her charged attack as well. So there's a lot hinging on just getting that combo, but the explosion crits and it does hundreds and hundreds of damage, which is quite a lot. So when you get it, you really get it. They also have this kind of, we were calling it like an alley-oop. It was kind of NBA Jam style. They can have a smooch, have a kiss, they call out, and there's a call and answer to it. So If I initiate it, it basically puts an icon up, like a ring over my character's head, and there's a circle radius. It's probably about the size of the screen, thereabouts. And if the other person answers with their corresponding button, the two of them will dive together and meet in the middle in an explosion that also can heal. Depending on, you can build out your traits and do all sorts of weird stuff. We made the kiss out of control. It was healing and creating fire and all that sort of stuff. And also your initiates are separate as well. So you can actually have this rhythm where you're responding to each other's call and answer. But the positioning's king because you're very vulnerable when you slam together. And like I said, they're both very glass characters. So yeah, going into the middle of the enemy for an atomic explosion makes a bit of sense. But, you might find yourself accidentally in the middle of poorly timed explosions, etc. And reading the telegraph, like, the initiator has to make some space and the respondent, like I said, has to recognize that you're going to meet halfway between, like you're not just zipping to that person's location. Anyway, it's a really cool mechanic. I've never seen anything like it, and it's really well done and built for co-op interplay. And then every character has like a trait. Sometimes it's passive activatable. In this case, they can heal each other for a loss of personal life. And because they're glass, the life that they lose is still significant. 25 flat or something like that. So I guess the further on, it hurts less. But the recipient gets like a 200% overheal. So it's definitely worth it. And you can heal back and forth, like, again, very call and answer. I can't really speak much to Juliet's kit, but that's how it goes. Like, I'm pretty much brawling in there, blocking away, dropping these roses in the middle of combat and hoping that my offsider is landing those combo hits. And then, you're doing your alley-oops in and out to drop some massive damage. Then they've got this ult where it's like a waltz and you both have to steer, and the best, and it'll work out the vector between the two of you. So this will test your friendship if you don't get along very well. We were fine because, we're good mates. But it shows you your vector and their vector, and the closer lined up together they are, the faster you'll go, and the faster you go, the more damage you do. So every part of the kit of these two characters is co-op snowball considered, and the better you have your synergy down, the more out of control you will roll through the map. So yeah, we got in a run or two of that and played through a bit, trying to fumble through it. Both very rusty. There was a time where we actually got quite sweaty at this game. But anyway, look, that's a bit of a breakdown of what's there for the Romeo and Juliet thing. Like I said, it's free. I think there's a paid skin DLC, but I'm not really that interested in that too much. But even without the Romeo and Juliet thing, right, you might be just watching this going, what's Ravenswatch? How am I going to get a mate that, not one of my shit mates, but one of my alright mates, this hypothetical fictitious mate that's going to be able to play this character with me. Don't stress too much. If you're not in that group, this game is still worth picking up. It's even still worth playing single player for sure. Or you can jump in my Discord and check out with my community, because there's a few people in there that play it. But look, like I said, it's all worked out very well. It's half price. I highly recommend it. And yeah, the danger of reinstalling it is that I'm just going to go tumbling back down that rabbit hole. So all in all, I think the Romeo and Juliet DLC is absolutely excellent. It does exactly what's written on the box, and I think in a way it would be beginner friendly if there were two people trying to co-op from the start, because they can learn the rhythm together. I think if you're a bit of a salty veteran, solo, me consumer, you might not like this DLC because it doesn't really give you anything. It is very co-op centric, and breaking that habit of split looting was a bit of a trick as well. Anyway, I don't need to waffle. The game's excellent, full stop, and this is an excellent addition. And for my part, I'm happy just to play it again and shout it out. Anyway, team, I might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.